Okay, I'd like to bring this meeting to order. The unruly crowd, can you please move to the back of the room or maybe in the hallway, please? Thank you. Tonight we're recording the Conservation Commission meeting. It's August 17th. And on my little cell phone, I can't tell who's with us. Dennis, could you read in the members for us, please?
We have Commissioners Christopher Pratt, Dave McWilliams, Ryan Drennan, Ryan Pranka, Jerry Patria, Mehmet Mazanoglu, and Ryan Pranka. I got him twice, right?
All right. He's usually on his cell phone and on the computer.
Okay. And joining us with guests tonight, we have Beth and Bill Malone, Norm Cheevers, our Secretary Jean, Randy Brown is a guest tonight, Marcus Phelps is a guest, Sophia Blitzis from our Levesque, and I think I said Norm already. I think that's
you did.
it.
Yep. Yeah, very good. So we are officially open. Dennis, do you have anything you'd like to bring us up to speed on?
Sure. I don't know if everybody got the new town hall access and meeting protocols. We sent that to everybody. I think there was some confusion as to if we could meet in town hall again. Not that anybody's asked to meet in town hall, but if they wanted to, what would be the procedure for that? And I don't know if anybody read it, but the gold standard is not to meet at town hall, to have Zoom meetings. It appears if it's absolutely necessary that you can contact somebody in town hall and make arrangements. You have to make some kind of agreement. I don't know what kind of agreement that would be. But if anybody really wants to meet in town hall, let me know, and we'll find out what we'd exactly have to do that.
Well, it's obvious that it's no longer needed. We should just put it up for sale and everything goes Zoom.
I think that's a good idea, David. Make a lot of money, save a lot of money.
I don't know about make a lot of money, but
Hey, real estate's good right now, so.
Get turn those into condos. Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I think we still have enough time to move into our last meeting minutes, as everyone had a chance to review.
no.
I didn't get the minutes I got were from the meeting before. Did you get the minutes from the?
Oh, yeah, they weren't.
Mine were old ones too. Yeah.
Hey, Randy, do you think 10 minutes would be enough to do your presentation before the first hearing?
Yeah, I think we can do that.
Okay.
You want to do that, Chris? Have Randy give his presentation on the plant survey? Oh, that's the DPW vegetation management plan. Sorry.
Yeah, that would be great. You can start
All right.
whenever he's ready.
Okay, can you hear? I'm assuming everyone can hear me. I appreciate your time today. So really, this is the first step of a multi-step process in which the Public Works Department is looking to establish what's called a vegetation management plan. So I sent Dennis a draft of the report, and I'm looking for your feedback on the plan. I'll go over a couple highlights of it, and I'll explain the process that we're going to go through over the next probably several months before this plan can actually be implemented. So right now, we all of our roadside mowing activities, for the most part, we use just a mechanical means to do that, whether it's using a roadside mower, weed whacker, or in some cases, hand cutting. What we'd like to do is move toward a process where we can utilize a chemical treatment in conjunction with our mechanical treatment that we do now. So the mechanical means that we use, we're only able to get to the town, across the town, usually once or twice a year. And there's some locations where, the vegetation grows very quickly and we're not able to tackle it before it could become a safety issue. So that's why we want to go towards a process where we can utilize chemicals to treat vegetation that's growth just along the roadside edges only. In order to do that, we have to establish what's called this vegetation management plan. And that's a document that you have in front of you. The vegetation management plan really just identifies what types of process we're going to use, and where it may be used. So the next step of this whole process is to send this document to the Mass Department of Agricultural and Resources, MDAR, and they're the ones that really regulate this program. I sent this to you because I'd like to get your feedback and hopefully your support on it. I'm not sure that you need to take any votes on this at this point, but if there's anything that that you see in the document that you have concerns about, I'd like to know that so that we can incorporate that into the document that gets sent to MDAR. So from your perspective, I can imagine your concerns might be chemicals that may impact our water bodies, and that's something that's certainly touched upon in this document. Dennis, if you can go to page 8. So this is a table on page 8 that identifies the types of sensitive areas that may be impacted by the use of chemical treatments. And inclusive are wetlands and water bodies, vernal pools, private drinking wells, as well as the municipal public drinking wells, and surface waters and any other agricultural uses. So what this table on page 8 and top of page 9 kind of summarizes how close to these sensitive areas that we can utilize this chemical treatment. So if you look at for wetlands and waters, and the first item there, the wetlands and water over wetlands, we can't use the chemical treatment within 10 feet of that sensitive area. And we can also,
Randy.
yes,
Hey.
Dave,
How are you?
good.
So I'm looking at the time elapsed between applications, right? So 12 months, 24 months, 24 months. You know, it seems like you're actually getting to them mechanically more frequently than these applications are allowed to be put down.
Yep, that's true. But also the chemical treatment lasts longer. So it's not just cuts the foliage, it'll kill it so that it won't resprout or regrowth.
Okay.
The intent is to use this in conjunction with our mechanical means by cutting.
Okay, thanks.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
So Randy, it's Brian. Question for you: when you kill a plant or kill the roots, don't you kind of there's erosion and stuff that takes place? Is that being addressed?
Yeah. So certainly this isn't going to be inclusive of every location, but situations where we're not going to see that type of erosion, locations that are too close to sensitive areas. That's not the intent of this program. You know, this is going to be used on roadside edges where where we're not going to have those types of issues. So like this is just another tool in our toolbox that we're looking to utilize to maintain our roadside edges. I'm getting some feedback. I'm not sure if anybody else is.
Are there other towns locally that are using the same chemicals that you guys are proposing?
Yeah, so a lot of towns are utilizing this program. Westfield is one, and there are others. All of their programs and their plans are posted on the Mass MDAR website, and that's where I found Westfield's plan and other plans. And what I did is I incorporated those plans and I developed this plan. So there are other environmental agencies that are going to put eyes on this document. So one of the next steps is to send this to MDAR, as I noted earlier. They are going to post this in the environmental monitor for, I believe, 30 days and solicit feedback from environmental agencies on this plan. At that point, comments will be returned back to the town. The town will incorporate any suggested changes into this document, and then it will go before a board at the MDAR offices for their review and approval. And then upon that board's approval, it'll go before the secretary for sign off. So there are several layers of review that are required before this plan can get put into effect.
Randy, this is Marisa Coco Obregon. How are you? I have a question. I reviewed the document and I'm not clear on what mechanism there is for informing the public about dates, like or actions that are going to be taken. Is there something in there that would let people know and kind of give them a time frame so that they can know what sorts of treatments might take place in their neighborhoods or in their areas?
Yep, there is, and I'm looking for it right now. It's on the very last page, I believe.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah, on page 13, it's there's a paragraph called notification procedures. So before we apply any chemical, we have to notify your board. We have to notify, the Board of Health, as well as the Select Board, and we have to post that information onto the town website. And that's 21 days before we can utilize any chemical treatment.
Very good. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. And I actually have a follow-up question. When I was looking at the table, and it noted there public surface, I'm sorry, let me get the verbiage correct, public surface water supply. What exactly does that mean? I'm thinking just in my head right now, we had an issue earlier with the Congamon Lakes being treated by LMC for some weeds, and farmers that, unbeknownst to the Agricultural Commission, were using some of the water from the lake for irrigation, and they had to suspend usage of that water until this chemical kind of subsided. What exactly does public surface water mean? Does that mean Congamon Lakes or anywhere where people might be using water for irrigation? Curious what exactly that falls under.
My understanding is that a public water supply is a source that, like a drinking water reservoir, one where a municipality would draw water from. So that would not qualify as Congamon.
Okay. I was just wondering if there's any, and of course you can't really foresee that far down, if there'd be any situation in the future where you might be treating near Congamon and it gets into Congamon, not only for the purposes of recreation on Congamon, but it's also being used for agricultural purposes. So it sounds like we would be given enough notice through the notification mechanism to also let farmers know if there is any treatment around those areas, to give them a heads up.
Right. So
Okay, thank you.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
I do point one more thing. So this document is also going to be supplemented by another plan. It's called the yearly operating plan. So every year we have to develop a document that identifies the specific locations where we intend to utilize these treatments. So there's another opportunity where members of the public and your board will be able to know where those locations are going to be done. And that yearly operating plan gets updated every year. And again, that also has to get approved before the MDAR offices before that plan gets put into effect.
Randy, I have a couple of questions. This is Mehmet.
Hey, Matt, go ahead.
Two questions. One is, this is a relatively old method, actually. It's nothing new. But why, considering how old it is and how long it's been used in the past, why are we moving in this direction? That was one question. Second question is, who's going to be the one that's going to be applying the chemicals, and will they be receiving any special training or anything like that?
So yeah, so the reason why we want to utilize this chemical treatment is really, like I said, it's to add another tool in our toolbox. We utilize the mechanical means now, and we're not able to really keep up with the demand. So we think by utilizing the chemical means, we can it'll help us to be able to tackle these locations quicker, and also keep the vegetative growth from establishing quicker. So it'll keep those roadside edges clear. As far as who is applying it, so in order to apply it, you have to be a licensed applicator. Nobody in the town has that license. As far as, I mean, as a town employee has that license. So we would hire a vendor, a contractor to apply this product each year.
And,
Randy, Chris Pratt here. How did the boundaries come about, the 10-foot boundaries and the 50-foot boundaries? Who were they determined by?
It's a good question. I guess, we can probably have a discussion and maybe clearly identify where those locations are, if you want. We're going to be telling a contractor, don't go within, say, 10 feet of a stream, or maybe avoid, a section of guardrail. We may mark off that section of guardrail where we don't want you using this chemical. That's a good question. I don't know how, other than, us meeting out in the field and maybe locating every single one of these, you're going to have to maybe rely on us to determine that, unless if there's some concern on the board where we can figure it out jointly.
Right. I'm just wondering, is 10 foot really safe enough to protect the water resources? I was just wondering who determined that 10 feet is far enough away.
Yeah, that's so any chemical that's going to be used is going to be identified in that yearly operating plan. And then maybe that's the point where we could identify specific locations you have concerns about, where you don't want to see that chemical being used.
Okay.
Randy, this is Jerry. Just a question on the herbicide. Is it one type or several types? And how toxic are they?
So this point doesn't go in that level of detail.
Yeah.
So any chemical that we are using would have to be safe for its intended purpose. So if it's safe to use within, say, 10 feet of a water body, then that's the intent, is to use it in that location.
Right.
As far as the exact chemicals, that's not something that we've identified at this point.
I'm thinking in terms of, you've heard the stories about Roundup, causing cancer and things like that. I'm just asking, that's all.
Sure. No, that's a fair question. So as part of the yearly plan, we have to identify exactly where these sensitive areas are. And like I said earlier, it's not just the water bodies or wetlands and streams, but it's also private drinking wells. So we have to work with the Board of Health to identify locations of private drinking wells, and to ensure that we're not applying this chemical within 50 feet of that location.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Randy, what's this is Brian. What's the an estimated cost for annual services, rewriting the plans, and doing all the work that needs to implement, plus spraying?
So the work to get the plan into effect, that's just being done, by me and my staff. So there's no extra cost for that. As far as the chemical use, we're looking to we have a line item set for about $6,000 in our budget, and that'll be a yearly cost. So we're looking at about $6,000. Are there any other questions?
Runoff
At
and
this
such,
time.
runoff and things like that do concern me, but I don't know.
Yeah. I think we'd have to do some checking in with DEP and see what their regs might dictate, and
Oh yeah, this
fully
board.
understand which treatments you're planning on using.
Yeah, this board, the MDAR board I mentioned, they're the one that oversees this whole program. They're very much in tune with DEP and their regulations. So, if there's something in this document or in our yearly operating plan document that we produce that they don't think is correct, they'll certainly let us know. Like said,
I
this
have
is,
one more question. Sorry, go for it. Sorry, this is Marisa again. Once people are notified of a certain area that's going to be treated according to what's listed there, the mechanism of notification, and say it's a chemical treatment and it's near right around their property, bordering the road, will they have the option to not have that treatment done near their property, or if it's abutting their property, if it's that margin between the road and their property, or is that the only option, or can they opt for mechanical at that point?
That's a good question. I haven't thought about that. I certainly like to think we could work with the property owners to address their concerns. Like I said, there are other means that we utilize now that we're looking to just add different techniques to. So add different types of treatment that we can, accomplish the same goal. So, certainly I think we could work with property owners if there's a legitimate concern on their end.
Thank you.
right, does anybody have any other questions for Randy or? Okay.
If not, I appreciate it.
All right, Randy, thank you very much for bringing that forward. We'll be looking further into that.
Very good, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you.
Okay, our legal notice tonight is the Southwick Conservation Commission will hold public hearing under the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, General Law C 131, Section 40 of the Southwick Conservation Commission Regulations and Bylaw Chapter 182 and Chapter 450 for request for determination. The project location is 42 Depot Street, Southwick, Mass. 01077. The project is to determine the wetlands boundaries. The hearing will be held tonight, right now, and welcome. Christopher Pratt, Chair for the Commission. Okay, and I do understand that we have not received a filing fee yet. Is that true?
Good evening.
Yes, as of 2 o'clock this afternoon, there was no filing fee paid on this.
Good evening. For the record, Sophia from R. Lebeck Associates on behalf of the applicant John Pagliaro tonight for the request for determination at 42 Depot Street, owned by William and Elizabeth Malone. As far as the filing fee, my understanding is that our client has mailed it in, but I can definitely check on that and make sure you get a check by tomorrow for sure. If not, our office can drop it by.
Okay.
Through the chair, if I can share my screen.
You sure may. Dash, can you allow her to do that, please?
If you guys can just confirm if you can see that or not.
Yep.
Perfect. So as stated, this is a request for determination of applicability for 42 Depot Street. The purpose or the intent of the filing is to determine the wetland boundaries. The property is located on north of Depot Street and consists of 22 acres. The property contains an existing single-family home with multiple barns and garages and surrounding lawn areas. Remaining land consists of agricultural fields and mature forests, and a bordering vegetated wetland is located at the southeast property corner. If I may, I will move to the RDA filing plan. As indicated on this plan, our office has delineated the wetlands. I'm located right along here. We have prepared an existing conditions and are asking for the determination of these boundaries. My apologies, I usually don't do conservation meetings, so my understanding is that usually we schedule a site visit to address any concerns or comments that may arise.
We could certainly be doing that.
So if there are any questions.
Okay,
Well, I had
I'm
one-
not
I
really
had one-
exactly sure where this is on the locus. Is this where there's like a little stream crossing from the other side of the street?
It looks like, yes, there's a bank of stream right along the edge here.
It
Okay.
looks like it's the area that goes up. So if you look at the Malone's house from Depot Street, it's on the left-hand side. There's like a little working road there anyways, a dirt road. Is that how I'm seeing it?
Yep, exactly. So the Malone's house is currently right here.
Yeah.
And as you go, the wetlands kind of go, most of them or some of them are actually off the premises, off this parcel. And there are no other wetlands on the property or within 100 feet of the property line. They are localized to this area right here.
Okay.
Wow. I mean, I'm looking at it from, I drive by it all the time and I'm looking at it from Google Earth right now. I'm curious to go out and see what's considered a wetland over there and where it actually drains to.
It might be a little difficult at this time of the year because it is this time of the year, plus we're in a drought, but
Yeah.
we should take a site visit out there to get a good look at it for sure.
Yeah, I agreed.
I agree as well.
Hmm.
You can look at some of the vegetation at least, and maybe some soil samples.
And our office is more than willing whenever the commission is available to meet out there on site.
Okay. Well, I'm available next week. Pretty free next week.
I am as well.
I'm away this week for the whole week and through the weekend, so.
Want to set a date now, or do you want to?
I think we might as well. I mean, I'm pretty much retired, so we can go with somebody else's time that they need to have. Anybody has a,
He has their calendar handy. We could try to set a date.
I'm only free on the 27th, fortunately next week, but if you guys want to go any other time, go for it.
does anybody
I
have?
won't be available next week at all.
Next week, no. I can't. Sorry.
Any day but the 27th.
27th, if that's going to give us a bigger group. So, Chris, what about you? Next Thursday?
I can do that. Yep.
Dennis?
Thursday,
Yeah.
a week from tomorrow.
Yeah, 27th. What time? Marissa?
I'm flexible all of the 27th, so
All right.
yeah, one day.
Maybe the morning might be better, and just to make sure we can avoid maybe some afternoon rain. I don't know.
Sounds good. Yeah, that's fine. As early as you guys want.
Well, like 10-ish.
10 o'clock.
We said
Yeah, that's great.
Okay,
I know.
Thank you.
I know.
very
I know.
good.
You can tell him your wife said.
It's okay. Don't relax. Peanut gallery.
I get that. I understand. We all get it.
Birthday party for JR.
27th is my birthday. She's not letting me out. So.
Oh,
Ah,
we can bring some.
Oh.
cake. All
Whoa,
right.
whoa, 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 whoa. So we're not invited?
I think we just got invited.
I think you did. I think you did.
So the 27th, it's going to be an all-day rager. Got it.
That's right.
You got it, man.
Right now.
Sounds good.
Right. There you go.
Okay, so we'll do a continuation on this project or delineation, and we will schedule a site visit for the 27th at 10 o'clock at the site. We'll be looking at some of the vegetation and delineations that have been put there already. Are they flagged, Sophia?
Yes, they are. Flagged
Okay.
and located with GPS.
All right.
You want to take a vote on approving a continuation, Chris?
Sure, you might as well. Take a motion on the continuation for the project.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor? Jerry Patry, what do you say?
Aye.
Brian Drennan, what do you say?
Aye.
Dave McWilliams?
Aye.
Brian Pranka?
Aye.
Marissa?
Aye.
All right, it's unanimous.
Gene, when is the next meeting?
Not till September 21st, I believe.
Correct.
September 21st.
Yeah, September 21st. Before you continue, there is somebody, Judy, that joined the meeting.
Oh, okay, Judy,
I
do you have
haven't-
something to add?
No.
Well, we also have Marcus Phelps and a butter. I don't know if Marcus wanted to add any questions or wanted to talk. Marcus?
Anything to add, Marcus?
No, I'll be there on the 27th. I'm also retired.
Yeah, that a boy.
But could we find out who Judy is, so I can put that on the list here? Judy?
I think she's muted.
She is muted.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
We
okay.
have Judy with us.
Okay.
Great. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, Sophia, thank
Have
you
a good
for
evening.
coming. Appreciate it. Goodbye.
Thank you.
See you
Bye-bye.
next Thursday.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Somebody. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
All righty.
So we have a,
I think
Wait.
Judy's unmuted. Judy's unmuted.
Judy? Can we get your last name?
Well,
Maybe not.
guess not tonight.
So Chris, we had a request for plant survey permission. It's for slender cotton grass in the Goose Pond area right off the rail trail.
Right.
Been out there looking for it before. We never found it, but I'm assuming the commission would grant permission to go onto the property to do that. And
All right.
make sure everybody gets notified if they want to go out there and join in, look for the slender cotton grass.
I think that would be a good thing to do. I mean, I don't see any reason why not doing it.
Anybody have any objections to give them their permission to look for the endangered species?
Not at all.
Go ahead.
Not for me. That's not good.
Dennis,
I don't
what
think
is,
we need-
just-
I don't
Dennis,
think we need a motion on that, but
Dennis, what is slender cotton grass? What is it? Why do we need to locate it just for Haas? I don't know what it
It's
is.
it's an endangered species. It's been listed on the charts for many years, and they're trying to confirm or deny that it actually does exist. It's it looks really cottony, and it's slender. It could be confused with other plant species, so it really need to go out there with an expert to.
it has an appropriate name.
Yeah.
So it's an endangered species then. So that we're trying to protect it? Am I guessing that correct?
Graphorum gracile is the Latin name.
Well, it's pretty much already protected. They just want to document, I guess.
Well,
every
it
once in a
gives
while,
more,
make sure.
right, it gives more protection to the land that it grows on.
And pretty much that land is all conservation land anyway, so
Right.
it's
Yeah.
pretty
Does anybody want to do a survey of crabgrass?
I got some. It's a year for that with no watering, huh?
Okay.
Chris, do you have any updates on the police lake enforcement? There's been a lot of chatter going on, a lot of things going on with the enforcement on the lake. I don't know if
Michelle
Norm-
did have a meeting, and she did have Chief Bishop participate in that. He was expressing willingness to get more patrols on the lake, and there are more patrols now on the lake than there had been.
True.
He sees it as an important part of the town, not just the lake. So he wants to keep everyone safe in town, and that's part of it. So I think that we're looking in the right direction as far as enforcement on the lake goes. So we're moving in a positive spot.
Patrols.
I think he's getting some volunteers to take over some of the patrols.
Really?
Yeah.
What training do you need?
Well, I don't know, David. Are you interested?
Yes.
He's retired.
Okay.
Norm, you got anything to weigh in on this?
We did discuss that, and related to that is our annual boat inventory showed a 12% increase in total boats over the prior year. So more people are on the lake this year than normal. And we have seen, daily in the Westfield News, they do the police briefs, and there's been a lot of fines and that have been issued. So we're happy about that.
Right.
But we got a bunch of crazies out there.
Oh yeah. Every day.
And so, yep.
Yeah. So the
Well, we're on the
more visibility is out there, the more deterrent there is for those crazies to come out. Because I think once they see an open door, they all run for it. So.
Yep.
Well, we're on the LMC, on the permitting process. I had an interesting proposition come in that at first I didn't think it could be permitted through the local permitting program. But after taking a second look at it, I'm having second thoughts. I'm not sure. I want to see what the commissioners think, if it needs to, what kind of filing it would need with the commission, or if you think it could go through the local permitting program. Let me do a screen share here. This is the dock plan.
Right.
Um,
So along the wall of the property, was that originally there before? Does anybody know?
Let me show you what I've got here.
I've been by there several times, and I know it looks like there may have been a structure there in the past that's
Okay,
just
this
rotted
is-
away.
Can you see this? Can you see this picture right here?
Yeah.
Are you looking at that now?
Yeah.
And you see that structure, that appears as what he took down originally. It looked like that was fairly permanent at one time.
Actually, we see the drawing, Dennis.
Oh, you're still looking at the drawing?
Yeah,
Hold on.
right. Drawing,
Back to the screen share, see if I can get that.
picture, yeah.
Let's see, screen share. Here it is. Here we go. This is the house. This is what used to be there for a dock, I believe.
Oh,
Right.
This is totally gone. What else have we got here? This is where he's proposing to store his 1 and 2, to store his docks, his removable docks.
Mm-hmm.
Are they longer than 75 feet total?
No.
Let's go back to the plan.
Yeah.
The length is 30 feet from the shoreline.
You got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. I see 90 feet.
Dick asked for the water depth to show why he needed to do all of this. You can see in some of the pictures that it's really shallow along the shore.
Yeah. Would that qualify as 2 docks? You know, the perpendicular one maybe, or is it?
Okay, if you add up all the square footage,
Yeah.
that comes to under the maximum that is allowed.
Okay.
They're all removable. I mean, basically, it's up to you guys. If you want it, I don't know if you want an RDA or if you want to just do this through the local permitting program, or what you think about it. But Dick took a second look at it, and he thought it is possible that we could permit this under local permitting. I'll send you guys the information. You know, you can look at it for a while and get back and let me know what you think. And we'll set this gentleman in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, that might be a good idea. When is he plan? When would he like to do this? Dennis? As soon as possible? Is this something that he wanted to do this year, or is it for a renter?
He didn't put down a timeline. It didn't seem like he's in a rush because, you know, it's going to take a while to put all this together. I don't even know. He's got to procure the materials to put it together.
Okay.
Move along. New England Scenic Trail. They started the work on the ADA accessible parking and switchback on the trails. They had to go out for bid. 2 companies are interested, Crestview Construction and Mark's Property Service. And we went out there last week to take a look because Jim Putnam, the neighbor, was a little concerned that he didn't want to have any drainage problems created from this. And I'm sure there won't be, but we had the DPW out there with us just to reassure him that it's not going to change any of the drainage structure on the property. But if anybody's interested in it, I'll keep you posted when the project starts. It's a volunteer project with a grant that was received from the Appalachian Mountain Club. Did we finish up on the LPP stuff, Chris, or did I jump ahead on?
I mean, that's all I think. You mean you asked Norm to talk about any issues? We talked about the police enforcement updates. And that's all I would have had, plus the dock thing. So.
I got a couple others.
Okay, Norm, go ahead.
We had a discussion. We didn't take any votes, but I wanted to let you know we're thinking of this. And that might be to request to you folks that we ask the people who have docks, have boats, that they sign, that they have read the rules and regulations and they understand them. Just wanted to let you know we are discussing that at this point in time.
I don't see that would be a bad thing.
That would be, you know, that would be a proposal for next year. But and one other thing that came out at our meeting was that paddle boards are now considered a vessel, which means that a PFD has to be on board, and in the summer and in the fall and the spring has to be worn by anybody on the paddle board.
Yep. And I believe they also have to have a whistle on board.
Let me just ask Gene about the signing of the agreement. Gene, do you see that being an issue, or is that something you can easily incorporate into your paperwork?
You could add it to the paperwork, but people aren't paying for their docks and boats anyways. You think they're going to read and sign a piece of paper?
Well, the ones that do, we could have them sign. You know,
Well-
punish the good people. That's how it works.
There are 29, there were 29 surveys sent out for the lifts, and they have till September 1st to reply, and so far I've had 6 replies.
They're all stuck in the USPS. What it is.
So the answer to the question was that you could do that fairly easily in the paperwork. So that wouldn't be a big problem.
Yeah, you could just make a copy of it, whatever you required, and send it out with the yearly application renewal.
I think Gene is saying that, doing all that is not the issue, is getting that to sign it and,
Right.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, you could send it out, but whether you get it back or not is,
Right.
is the question.
So Gene, do you have any information on the MACC Fall Conference Week that's online this year?
Yes, and I asked them if there was a charge, because they said it was like a virtual workshop that they were going to have, but I haven't heard back from them yet.
Okay.
And under old business, I don't believe there's anything new to report on old business. All of it is status quo, unless Dave has some information on the railings. I haven't heard anything from Kudlik yet.
Going off of mute, sorry. You don't see a big stack of railings behind the town hall, Dennis? Are you kidding me? I was told they were going to be there.
Well, I didn't look today. Maybe they showed up today.
Maybe today. I doubt it. So he said he had some at his property and that he'd be dropping it off. So I'm going to reach out to him, see if I can come actually see it at his property, and tell him I have a trailer and see if he'll let me pick it up. Kind of force his hand a little bit.
Okay.
I think that's all we got for old business, Chris.
All righty.
Am I missing anything, Gene?
My pay raise.
All right.
That's old business.
We could do that every meeting. I think that should be a thing.
Speaking of pay raises, did the select board ever endorse my stipend?
I haven't gotten anything back.
No,
Can you-
what's going to happen is the purchase order that went through will be good until the last quarter. And once the payment for the last quarter is due, a second purchase order will be put in for the balance, and it'll come out of the LPP account.
Okay.
The LPP account?
Yep.
Oh.
That's what Carl told me.
Okay.
All righty. We'll have to raise some more LPP money.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, right now, we're about $200 over last year's collections.
Okay.
You've got the money from Connecticut came in, the check from Connecticut?
Yeah, and I believe
Yeah.
Mr. Saunders submitted his
Saunders.
portion.
Good.
Yeah, according to the boat survey, Saunders has 113 or 116 boats there, and he paid for 72.
I have to figure out where that discrepancy is coming from. And PB&J, they paid their,
No, they, I believe, had 30 I sent all this information to you, I think, Dennis, in an email. They have physically 30 there and they paid for 24. They did not pay to what they have as a capacity there.
We'll have to work with the LMC to figure out what's going on there, where the
Yeah.
discrepancy is coming from. Norm, if you could put that on your agenda for your next meeting.
Okay.
And Jerry, hopefully Jerry can make your next meeting to
Yeah,
work with you on.
I'll try. I missed one. Sorry about that.
All right, so I think we're pretty much towards the end of anything we need to discuss, unless anybody has something else that they'd like to say.
I do. I'd like to find out what Gene thinks about Tuca.
Don't go there. Game starts at 8 o'clock, so if you wouldn't mind adjourning, please feel free to do so.
Don't forget the Celtics tonight too. It's a good night.
Yeah,
Oh, and that other baseball team's playing.
Yeah.
The Yankees.
Yeah, that's.
I think I started watching the Yankees, so.
Oh, no.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
Ah,
all in favor?
Aye.
Raise your hands.
Aye.
Everybody's in agreement? We're all-
I'm sorry, who seconded that?
I did.
Chris did.
Okay. Okay. Roll call
Judy, it was
vote.
nice meeting you.
I saw Marissa's hand up. Jerry's
Okay.
hand.
Yes.
Yep.